This is my closing reflection for English 977. How will you use instructional technology differently in the future? How will you advocate for better instructional technology use in your environment? What have you learned from your colleagues? Um, I'm an avid PowerPoint user. I occasionally use Kahoot, and students always ask for more. I've also used WordWall and Bookit for review, so I'm going to try and do more of those sites. I'm excited about HP5 as Henry presented in class. I'm still a holdout on Canvas, but I might dip into it as many of my cohort use it. For students, I don't use anything other than teaching them how to use an internet browser to search, how to log in and write an email, and using WhatsApp so I can send PDFs and other class materials. The students have very low digital literacy and they don't own devices other than their cell phones. And these are the two main reasons I don't incorporate more tech into class. But a colleague recently shared with me that she had a student that didn't pass a job interview, and it was because part of the interview was recording a video and the student didn't know how to turn the computer on. There's a computer lab on campus, but I've resisted taking my class because I carry about 70 students on the roster, and even though half the students come half the time, there's still not room for all of them. Also, because digital literacy is so low, I fear being overwhelmed with managing so many students. But my colleague's story has made me rethink, and that I know I need to at least try. And I know if I can just teach a couple of students, they can teach others, and it can grow from there. Tanzina's presentation on Google Trends or Google Forms really makes me think it's something I need to incorporate as well, because as she pointed out, it's especially useful for adult ELLs for future jobs. I've never used Grammarly, but I think students can really benefit. Catrice talked about it being overly used in her presentation, but I'll refer to her presentation if I observe that happening with her students. And she did say in a previous class that it really helped her students at first. What are your hopes and fears now regarding instructional technology? Do you feel more optimistic, pessimistic, or something else? I began the class very optimistic for technology and AI in general, and I still am. I recently incorporated a new in-class activity where I do a 20-second video interview with a polyglot. I have the students watch, follow up with a dictation, and then a translation, and then comprehension questions. The first time I did this, I started to transcribe the video, and it was taking me so long. And then I realized AI could probably help me, and it did. It gave me a near perfect transcription of the dialogue. I recently used the AI generator for Kahoot when I was planning a Kahoot quiz, and although I altered the majority of the content, it really helped to direct me. I have a student that's been with me for 2 semesters, and her progress has been so low, partly because her attendance is very, very sparse, and partly because I never observe her doing anything other than staring at worksheets. I've talked to her a few times about switching to a lower level. She's always refused. A few weeks ago, I realized she didn't know how to use Google Translate on her phone. I assumed that she knew because the students always show each other that. So I showed her how to translate, and her eyes got so big, it changed her life. Now when she comes to class, she tries to use some English. She can understand some of the content. So hooray, technology. That's it. Thank you.